Well, good morning. It's about 6:30 and I'm trying to get to work without waking up everybody in the house. So hopefully I managed to do that. I got up around 5 and I had my coffee and did some video research and that sort of thing. And I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up my kitchen cabinets. Lots and lots to do, and we've only got 10 days till we need to be out of here. And then we'll be on to Florida for a few days, and then after that, don't know. But we've got so much more work to do, even though it is finally starting to come together. Let me show you where we're at. It's been really nice to have some visible progress, and the most recent thing we finished was putting up the plywood for the ceiling. And even though I don't want to put up the tin ceiling just yet, I am going to go ahead and cut the panel that goes around the fan there so that we can put up the frame that goes inside. It seems like I've just got lots of loose pieces of things and I want to find them homes before we have to hit the road. I've also got more wood to do, and I did find some nice trim at the salvage store yesterday, so I was excited about that. And then I also need to plan out the wall that's going right across here for the bed, the cabinet that's going to be here for the refrigerator, and then what definitely needs to be done before we leave is installing the kitchen cabinets right here. They go from the end of the water tank to about halfway across the door. 3 cabinets that are right there that need to be cleaned up and repainted, and the refrigerator there is going to be on a platform on the other side. But those 3 cabinets need to get up and be cleaned up and painted, and the butcher block goes on top. I've got my sink. I need to cut everything out, but it's going to be a lot of work to get that done in the next week or so. In the middle of all that, my daughter, who lives in New York, is going to be in town for a visit, and I haven't seen her in a really long time, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, just so much to do and not enough time, so I'm going to have to start kind of burning the candle at both ends, I think. These are the cabinets that I bought at Lifecycle Building Supply in Atlanta. These 2, they were priced at $35 a piece. They gave them to me for $30 each, which was pretty awesome. And I'm really impressed by the quality here. This is all solid wood. They each came with a shelf. The clips were even in them, so obviously they hadn't been abused too much. And then I went back after I got these because there was a third one, and I thought maybe I want 3 15-inch cabinets, but the space I had was 18, so I found this one. And I know you can't see the front of it. It's not quite as nice quality. It's got a millimeter laminate finish on it, but it's just about the right size. It's got 3 drawers, and I do have to make up a gap here. This is about a 3/8 inch gap in the height between the cabinets, but these also do not have a toe kick, and I need to add that. So I think it will be pretty easy to make up that difference as I install the cabinets. And I am really excited about these. I think they're cleaning up so well that I could even just install them as is, but I do want to paint them. I'm looking at a real fresh light green, almost white, but I think that'll be nice to have. As I was cleaning up these drawers this morning, or these cabinets, I was hoping that I could have those 2 on either end of this one, and that this could be the center cabinet. But unfortunately, my little sink that I got, which is one of the first things I bought, I've had it for a while, it is just a hair too wide to go in one of the 15-inch cabinets, so it's going to have to go in this one, and I'm going to end up putting this one on the end by the door. And I might even possibly doing something nicer than the white on the end of it as I paint it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to do that. But try to make it look good anyway, because this cabinet is not the same quality as those. This has a melamine finish on it. But anyway, I can get the sink where I want it with a little bit of space on the side, as well as a little bit of space in the back that will allow for the faucet. So it's going to go in this cabinet, and I'll just have to make the best of it. And actually, I just had another fun thought as I was about to put this back together. I want to do a toe kick drawer. I'll change out the hardware on this one, but the drawer itself is actually just the perfect size, so I won't have to build that. And I'll take the drawer front off and put it back here in the cabinet, and maybe make it a tilt-out tray or something. But yeah, I'll be able to repurpose the drawer, use the cabinet, get my sink in, and it's all good. We have a winner in the battle of the paint colors, and the winner is this one, which is called Stillness. I love some of these other colors, but they're a little bit more intense than what I want for the cabinetry, so going with this one. I'm having to do a deep dive to get these really clean, because if I'm going to put them in my kitchen, I want to know that they are sparkling clean since they're used. I have removed the drawer fronts of the first cabinet, the 3-drawer cabinet, which is right there, and cleaned the back of them. And I've also actually had to take the drawer hardware off the rails, because something was spilled on this cabinet on the top, and I don't know what it was. It looks like brownie batter or maybe dark molasses. I don't know, it's pretty yuck. So it dripped down all the way from the top into the cracks and crevices here. So the only way to get it cleaned was to take this off and put it back on. But at least that gives me the satisfaction of knowing, and I put this in the van, that it is as clean as it can possibly be. Yeah, I'm glad I have the attention to detail to notice that, because like I said, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna just go with brownie batter, but definitely don't want that in my van. And that is much better. Well, my drawers are all cleaned up and ready to be reused. And the next step before I can paint is to just run a light sanding over the drawer fronts. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on the case yet, because it looks like this has some melamine trim. I don't know if you can see right here. This is like an iron-on sort of trim. I don't know if I can just touch it very lightly with a sander and then be able to paint it, or if I just need to prime it. So I'm gonna have to experiment a bit. But for now, the drawers are the focus of my attention, and I'm gonna get those ready to go. The idea here with the sanding is not to take the whole finish off. It's just to scuff it up enough that it will actually hold the primer and the paint, and I'll get a nice smooth finish when I'm done. And then before I paint them, I'm gonna wipe them down with some tack cloth just to get up any dust. Sometimes you just wipe and think it's clean, but it's not really. So the tack cloth is sticky and it pulls all that off. All right, that actually worked pretty well. It took off a little bit more finish than I would like, and I could actually still go back here. There are several places where the finish was kind of chipped, and so it wasn't ideal. So I'm gonna touch that up by hand, but it did a good job of just getting that surface coat off and bringing it down so it's more smooth. And now I'm just gonna hit these with the tack cloth to get all the dust off. And I'm gonna stack them up, and then I'm gonna get my doors. Well, let's see, I think I'm gonna do this cabinet first and then tackle the doors of the other ones. All right, so this is my wood filler. It's from Minwax, and it's actually color changing, which is pretty cool. As it dries, it changes from purple to like a natural color so that you know it's all good to go. And I'm just hitting some of these corners where there's some wear and some water damage that I took off, and then I can sand it later. So these are all cleaned up and ready to go, and I'm gonna hit them with a quick layer of Kiehl's primer. The paint I got has primer in it, but I just feel more comfortable using this as a first coat. So we're gonna start that. Now, you definitely don't want brush strokes on your cabinets, but I've used this Kiehl's before and it dries pretty smooth. So I'm not concerned about that. And if I do have some, I can just give it a real light sanding. I'm hoping, but I'm a little worried that where the wood is completely exposed, the masonite, that the moisture in the paint is going to make it swell up. If it does, not sure what I'm going to do. I can sand it down, but yeah, we'll just have to see. Worst case, if these don't turn out, I can buy new drawer fronts, but I'd rather be able to reuse what I've got here. Now I could have used oil paint on these, and a lot of people do use oil paint on cabinets, but the final paint color that I got is acrylic latex, which wears really well, and it also dries faster, so that's why I'm using also a water-based primer underneath, just to make sure all the paint plays nice together. Well, it's another rainy day, and I am thankful actually because it's not hot. I'd take rain over heat any day. And yesterday, as soon as I got my first coat of paint on the cabinets, I checked the weather, and my dark sky app said it wasn't gonna rain for an hour. And then of course it started sprinkling right away. So I had to go and put everything in the van to dry overnight and pack up a little bit earlier than I'd planned. It was about 5:30 or so, and I was hoping to work till 7:30 or so, but that's how it rolls when you're building a van. So I'm out this morning, my paint dried. I've been doing a bunch of little projects and also running around looking for things, because I've decided if there's one skill I've mastered in this van build, it's losing things. So not the skill that I really want, but I spent just like 5 minutes just looking for this little thing so I could open my paint. Then I'm like, dummy, I could just use a screwdriver, but whatever. I'm getting ready to put the first coat on the fronts of the drawers, and I did get one coat on the front of the cabinets right before we had to push them back into the garage. It's funny, I wanted a super light color that was just barely green. I've got this it's called Stillness, and depending on the light you can see that it's green, but it just looks like white right now on the front of those cabinets. So in a little bit I'll get those pulled out, but the weather's looking kind of dicey, so I figure I'm living dangerously, just taking the chance to put the paint on these, and hopefully they'll dry before it rains. Okay, sometimes I just have to laugh at myself, because I was saying that I spent 5 minutes looking for this key to open the paint can, and I turned around after I painted the trim, just the edges. I haven't rolled yet, but I just did the brushwork on these cabinets, and it's sprinkling a bit, so I said I'm just gonna wait, turn around and put the paint can back on the table here, and boom, there's two of them. One was here, and the one's the one that I spent time finding, so I don't know. Maybe at this point this van build is making me just a wee little bit crazy, just maybe.